Okay. So, and in case if you have any doubt, please feel free. Please raise your hand. Okay. Don't feel like, okay, this is a online session, nothing at all. Don't feel embarrassed. Just ask me if you have any doubt. And if you don't understand something, just raise your voice, because the thing is, I'll be on the other screen. So if you have any doubt, I might not be able to see. So please leave a message, or you can just unmute and then raise your query. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Okay. All good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And then,
Oh, my God. Okay. So, unit three, values for ethical decision making. So, first two units, we understood what exactly values are, or we just had a brief idea of what is FCPA or Sarbanes-Oxley. So, here we are actually going to talk about certain values, specifically fairness, integrity, due diligence, and fiduciary responsibility. And please learn these really well, because there will be questions from these particular units, and this particular part will be really important for your next unit as well. So you have to understand the clear differentiation between fairness, integrity, due diligence, and fiduciary responsibility. So the first one, fairness. Fairness means you have to pay attention to these words. You have to be free from bias, dishonesty, and injustice. That means your decision or your decisions should not be biased. Just because this person is my friend, or just because this particular person is my relative, whatever decision I take shouldn't be partial or biased. I should treat everyone equally. And second, shouldn't be dishonest. And third, there shouldn't be any sort of injustice on the basis of caste or religion or race or whatsoever. So, fairness is a quality of being just, equitable, honest, and impartial. So, first, I'll show you a particular image basically. So, we hear these three words very often. One sec. We hear equity, equitable, and justice very often. But do you want, you need to understand the difference between these three actually. One sec. Let me see if I can open that document. Okay, I don't think I'm able to. I'll be able to. One second. One second. One second. One second. One second. Just hold on. Equity. In case if I can find that, I'll just show you. Equality and justice. Okay, see, let me just open. One second, the page is just getting, okay, can you see my image? This particular image, is it, can you see this? Equity, equality, can you just raise your hand? Is it, can you see this? Is it visible? Okay, done. See, so we actually use these words very often, right? So what is the difference between equity, equality, and justice? So see, just pay attention to the second and the third and the fourth one. So equality means we will give, I mean, whatever we are giving to a particular a group of people, it will be all the same. We will give the same support, same benefit to all three persons. See that wooden log that they are standing on, it's of the same height. That is equality. Next is equity, means everyone gets the support that they deserve. You see the little baby, the baby is really small, so we have to put two wooden basically logs to support him further. So this is equity. And the last one is justice. So in this particular case, whatever is actually coming as a hindrance, we will just remove that. That is known as justice. So equality means everyone equal support depending on their current situation. And the last one, justice, means whatever was causing the hindrance, we will just remove those hindrance. So that's equity, equality, and justice. I hope that's clear. So here we are first and foremost going to talk about equality. Equality in business refers to the screen is visible, right? My PDF is visible? Yeah, okay. So, so fairness means you have to be free from bias, dishonesty, and injustice. So it's a quality of being just, equitable, honest, and impartial. We should be fair towards, for example, while I'm taking class, I should be fair towards all of you. I should treat you all equally. I should be honest with you. I should be impartial. I shouldn't show any sort of, partiality towards Durai just because he supports TVK. I shouldn't do that, right? So that is fairness. So three fundamental elements of fairness is equality, reciprocity, and optimization. What are those? Equality, reciprocity, and optimization. So the first one, equality means whatever resources, whatever benefits we are giving it to our people, it should be all equal. It should be all fair. It can be to the stakeholders, it can be towards the society, but whatever we are giving, it has to be fairly distributed. Okay, equally distributed. That is equality. Reciprocity. When we say, okay, you need to reciprocate something, that means I'll give, okay, for example, I'll just quote an example first. So when in your future, definitely after another 3-4 years, you will be working for a big corporate, let's imagine. So when you join there, you will definitely get paid, right? So your pay should be appropriate towards whatever effort you are going to put there. So reciprocity means you have to get paid for whatever work you are doing. There should be a fair salary or a fair remuneration. You should never feel like, oh, I'm working too much, but I'm getting so less. You should never feel like you're underpaid. So that is reciprocity. Okay, you work for me, I'll pay you. And the third one is optimization. Means whenever we are hiring somebody for a particular position, we shouldn't hire them just because they are he or she is my relative or family friend or whatsoever. We are hiring that particular person because he or she is super talented. He or she is competent. They have the knowledge to do that particular job. That is known as optimization. Optimization means you're hiring the right person for the right task. Hiring or selecting students means choosing the most qualified person, that is the most talented, proficient, educated, and able person. For example, if I have to choose a class leader among you guys, I have to pick the optimized, I have to pick the right one, the one who is highly educated, the one who is proficient, who is talented as well. So that is optimization. And anything other than qualification should never be considered as a criteria. If we do that, we are actually going to be really unfair. Not because of religion, not because of gender, not because of race, not because of any particular country you come from, nothing at all. We have to pick that particular person only on the basis of qualification, talent, and their ability. So that's all about fairness. So what is fairness? Fairness is the ability to be just, equitable, honest, and impartial. So the next one, guys, is it clear? Fairness is fairness. You guys are with me, right? Is it clear? You just have to raise your hand. Fine, right? Okay. Thank you. Yes. So then I'm actually finding it really funny because this is the first time I'm like, are you guys with me? Do you guys understand me? And then you're like, yes. Okay. But I'm happy that you guys are at least responding. Okay. So otherwise, it's going to be really, but the only good thing is I don't have to wear any makeup, nothing, just a bit of lipstick and then I'm ready. No need of any sari, no need of any, formal dresses. So this is actually good that way. So the next one is, after fairness, second one is going to be integrity. So what is integrity? This is a very important one because there's a question wherein they ask, what is that one particular quality as per the conference board that is very critical for a leader to succeed? So that is integrity. If you have to succeed as a good leader, you need to have integrity. So what is integrity? Integrity means you are going to be honest and you are going to be upstanding. Means if you take a decision, you are going to stick by that. You are not going to change. Okay. So if I say, okay, if tomorrow, for example, Sneha comes late, And I shout at her, asking, okay, well, why Sneha, why are you late? You're not supposed to be late, etc., etc., etc. And she was just late by just 2 minutes. And then the very next day, who is late? Nisarga is late by 2 minutes. And audible? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The caption.
All okay? Fine?
Fine,
Okay.
fine.
Done. You guys are going to be IT experts after this session for sure. Technical Zoom experts, fixing Zoom, all those. So, so if the very next day, if Nisarga is late by 2 minutes, and if I give her some sort of privilege, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's okay, Nisarga, you please be seated. Then I don't have integrity. So if I treat Sneha in a certain way, I have to treat Nisarga the very same way. I shouldn't show. I mean, I shouldn't change my decision. Okay, if somebody is not punctual, and if I scold them, then I have to do the same with the other person as well. So here, integrity means you have to be upstand, you have to be firm in your values. So here, the actions of a person or companies, basically whatever I preach, whatever I say, okay, these are my principles. If I keep talking about honesty, if I keep talking about the principles, then I have to stick to those principles as well. Like if I always say like, okay, I have to be honest, I have to be responsible, etc., etc. And if I say that, I have to stick to those principles as well. So under integrity, there is a term known as conflict of interest. When we started the session on the very first day, I actually mentioned about this. Do you guys remember conflict of interest? What's conflict of interest? Any idea? Conflict of interest.
Ethical decision making.
Okay, difficulty in decision making. Because why? Because your personal preference and your professional preference actually conflicts. You remember I told you about SEBI, there was a lady, there was a chairperson, and she had investments in a company's security. Did I tell you that? That story?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there was a conflict of interest. She had her own investment in this particular company. So and then what happened? And then she was also the chairperson of SEBI. So whatever happens, she is actually going to protect that particular company, right? That is known as conflict of interest. So that shouldn't happen. So whenever you see a question about conflict of interest, please understand the value they are actually talking about is integrity. So conflict of interest falls under integrity. Okay. So what is conflict of interest? Conflict of interest is obviously an obstacle to integrity. In case if you have a conflict of interest, then definitely your integrity is getting compromised there. Conflict of interest means you cannot make a decision, you cannot make a reliable decision, because whatever decision you are going to make is actually going to be in your personal interest. You're not going to do make a judgment for the company, you are going to think about yourself. So you shouldn't do that. So it's very important for a manager or a director or an employee to actually work for the best interest of your organization and your shareholders. As a certified management accountant, after 2 years, inshallah, you guys are going to be CMAs. So you are going to be CMA Santosh, CMA Durai, all are going to be CMAs, right? So when you after you start practicing, you have to always keep in your mind your first responsibility is towards the public. It's towards the public. Please pay attention. It's not towards the company you work for, but it's towards public, means towards the society. You shouldn't do anything that is going to damage the reputation, I mean, of your profession as well. But at the same time, like the other day I told you about Lehman Brother, you remember mortgage crisis that happened in USA. And then I told you, because if they worried about the public, if they were concerned about the public, those CFOs or the CEOs wouldn't do something as such. So once you become a CMA, your responsibility, whatever judgment you make, should be for the interest of the public and also for the interest of the organization shareholders. But who comes first? It's always the public. So in case okay, you are going to have a conflict of interest. Okay, Dure is the CEO, and then Dure is supposed to give a particular tender or assignment to Dure. You got where is you know what is tenders.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
example, yes, okay. So in future, Dure got 4 to 5 tenders in his hands. One is from his cousin, the other one is from his friend, the other are from general public. Okay. So since as a CFO, if Durai makes a decision, okay, so definitely somewhere Durai might prioritize his best friend or his relative, right? So in this case, what Durai can do? How can he avoid conflict of interest? So first and foremost, you have to actually just step down. Means if the decision maker knows about a conflict of interest, and huh? What happened?
Nothing, ma'am.
Nothing. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So and if Durai is somehow concealing the fact, Durai is not telling about his conflict of interest, then you're actually going to deceive your people. So, in case if you have, if there is even an appearance of conflict of interest, okay, that can be really harmful. Like even a slightest conflict of interest can be really harmful for your company. So, you must actually take action. So, what can you do? So, first and foremost, the easiest way is avoidance. So, in this regard, what Durai can do? Durai will just step aside. Durai will say, oh, sorry, in this regard, because one is my friend and the other is my family member, then I don't think it will be right for me to take a decision. So, what he will do? He will just step aside and he will let Arul Modi take the decision because she is assistant, she is a finance manager. So, let her take the decision. So, he might say like that. Second option is here he is actually going to disclose his potential conflict of interest to his stakeholders. So he will let the management, the basically the company or the board of members know that there might be a conflict of interest. He will disclose. And third, management of the conflict may also be considered if avoidance, if these two doesn't work, okay, if he is not in a situation to avoid that conflict of interest, then what can he do? First and foremost, what he will do, he will ensure that he lets everybody know about the potential of a conflict of interest. He can just tell them, okay, there are chances of a potential conflict of interest. Ensure that all the employees are aware of the potential for a conflict of interest, such as gifts they might be offered by a customer. And not just Dure, in future, there might be conflict of interest. See, if somebody gives you, that day I asked Nisarga whether she will accept a gift set from L'Oreal, and she said no. So, those kind of training should be provided to everybody. Second, we should have a proper code of conduct. We should tell everyone, okay, these are things that's expected from you. You should do these, and these are don'ts. You shouldn't do that. So we should have a proper code of conduct. Third, there should be a proper rules, okay, about receiving gifts and kickbacks in your company. When are you allowed to accept gifts? When are you not allowed to accept gifts? And even if it's a small gift, okay, what is the situation? Okay, how is it going to be? Are you allowed? Is it as per the code of ethics? You have to think about that. And lastly, there should be, we should actually tell you why. The other day, do you remember? Nisarga said that, like, okay, so what's the problem if you accept that particular gift? Do you remember? So if you accept that gift in future, your decisions might be a bit partial. You might have certain liking towards that particular supplier, right? So we have to explain why do we say that you shouldn't accept these gifts at the first place. So these are the ways in which you can manage conflict of interest if you cannot avoid that. So first and foremost, how can you manage? So see, what did we learn? First, we learned about fairness. Fairness is about just, equitable, and honest. Okay, that is fairness. And then under fairness, we spoke about 3 elements: reciprocity. Then what are the other two?
Equality.
Equality, and then
Optimization.
optimization. Okay, those are under fairness. Then second, we learned about integrity. Integrity means you should be, sorry, you okay?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. Do you have any doubts?
No, no, ma'am.
Sure, huh? Clear, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
The middle benchers, are you guys with me? Is it clear?
Yes,
Nisarga?
ma'am.
I can't see the face actually. I can just make out that's Nisarga because of her height. Okay. So the other two, perfect, right? Okay. So guys, okay. In case if you have any doubt, do ask me. I just have okay. Santosh, obviously, I know because I can see from here. Yes, that is Santosh. Yes. So in case if you have any doubt, just raise your hand. So when it comes to integrity, integrity means you have to be upstanding. You should stick to your principles. So under integrity, there shouldn't be conflict of interest. If there is conflict of interest, what you need to do first is you have to avoid that situation. Second, you have to just step aside. You have to tell everyone that okay, there might be a chance of a conflict of interest. Third, if you cannot avoid that conflict of interest, the next option for you, what are the other options? There should be a proper code of ethics in your company. You should tell everyone why you are not supposed to take gifts from your suppliers. Why? What's the reason behind it? We have to explain that. Then the other point was there should be rules with regards to gifts and kickbacks. So that's about the second value, that is integrity. So now the third one, due diligence. This is a bit you might be hearing this for the first time. I doubt. I think I mentioned this during your first or the second lecture. Due diligence. Due diligence means you have to just by heard this word. That's known as requisite effort. What is it? Requisite effort. Requisite effort means like you have to care for a particular property. You have to give reasonable care for a particular property or a person. Okay, and you shouldn't harm them. In the business context, it means you whenever you are going to indulge in a business transaction with anyone, you have to look into their details. For example, if in future mm, mm, okay, Sounder is going to do a transaction with Ambani's, or let's say it's a new company. Let's forget Ambani. Let's say it's going to be a new company, okay? And Sounder doesn't know how they are performing. He doesn't know about their intentions. So what he has to do, he have to check about them. He have to check whether they are, what exactly is their intent, whether they are, they are operating legally, whether they are into smuggling or those kind of things, okay, whether they are law abiding or what, how are they operating in general. He has to know that. He has to put in a lot of effort to learn these things. So that is known as due diligence. He has to be really careful because imagine, see, you heard about Epstein file, right? We spoke about Epstein file the other day. Remember Epstein file? Yes.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yes. Oh my god. You guys are the best when it comes to online classes. Let me say this. Yeah, because I really liked your batch. To be really frank, because of the energy that you guys. Because see, I'll be very honest with you. You guys are very happy. That's the first thing. You guys are very pleasant to teach. It's not difficult because certain batches they won't even smile. Certain people will be always like this. They will be like, They won't react much. But you guys are just, happy, and then you guys respond, which is a great thing. Okay, so what did I say? So Epstein file. Imagine, Anusha. Okay, Anusha. I was actually trying to recollect your name since a while, but finally I got it. Okay, I know Charulata for sure. Where is Charulata? Yes, yes. Okay, done. Um, okay, one sec. Give me a clue. The first bench, third one. Your first alphabet was next to Anusha.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Sneha.
Huh?
Sneha.
Sneha, I know. The other side. Yes.
Anantali.
Ah, I remember. I remember. Okay. And the one behind, I forgot.
Navalita.
Huh?
Navalita.
Towards the end of the class, you can
Navalita.
just. What?
Navalita.
I can't hear at all. Towards the end of the class, you can just come towards the mic and just tell me, okay? Then I'll understand. I know, but I. Lolita, no. I heard Lolita.
Navalita.
Navanita! Okay. Thank you, Nisarga. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I got it. Navneet. Okay, I'll not forget. I'll not forget. Okay, I by hearted. I won't forget again. So, for example, Anusha is going to do business. Okay, Anusha is going to expand to America, and this happened back in 2015. Okay, and who was Anusha's ally there? Who was Anusha's business partner? Epstein. How would that be? Really nice. Epstein. Very nice. Right? The entire company will be doomed. Imagine now we might be seeing Anusha's emails to Epstein. We will see, okay, Anusha sent this email to Epstein, and then see what are going to be the consequences. It is going to her image, the reputation of her company will be totally affected. So, if she has due diligence, she will be very careful. She will dig deep into Epstein. She will check what he was doing. And this guy was a offender since long, right? He was actually acquitted basically in 2008. So you will check all these things, and you know, okay, he is a serial offender since long, and you will not do business with that kind of a guy. So that is known as due diligence. Okay, means you have to take requisite effort. You have to take required effort when you do business transactions. So due diligence means you have to check their financial position, they have to check about their business record, and basically whatever is necessary, you have to look into all those aspects. So nowadays, basically, since it's our era of globalization, your reputation really matters a lot. um, uh, the pressure is very high on companies to associate with companies that has really good ethics. That is why when Starbucks came to India, whom did they associate with? Starbucks. Whom did Starbucks associate with when they came to India? Tata. Exactly. You will see. Tata strategic alliance, a Tata strategic alliance. You will see that everywhere, wherever there is Starbucks, you will see the same. So, because Tata is known for ethics, and again, Starbucks is no bad either. So, you have to actually look into these things. So, when the behavior of the other party can actually pose really, legal risk to our particular company. And sometimes imagine if this particular person, this particular company that you are associating with violated FCPA, then even you are involved in that case and you might actually come into danger. So ethical due diligence means when we are going into business like acquisition, what's the difference between joint venture, acquisition, or alliance? What is joint venture? Joint venture. Okay. In Kerala, if so, what is okay? What is acquisition? Huh? Not audible. What's acquisition? I cannot hear anything. I'll tell you. Okay. So basically, in Kerala, when we ask, okay, what's merger, they will show like this. This is merger. And acquisition means this is acquisition. This is what they have learned. Okay. So basically, merger means two companies will join together and they will operate as one. Okay. For example, let's say, for example, Anusha and Sneha, they seem to be really good friends. So they will two merge together and they will become Anusha Sneha. The name will be like that. And they will be like 50-50 sharing. They will share the profits, everything according to the shares. So that is merger. And the other way around. For example, Navneeta is a very rich girl, okay, very rich company. Imagine she is a very elite company, and she is actually going to acquire whom Arulmuri, okay. So that is acquisition. She's going to buy Arulmozhi. She will pay Arulmozhi money and then say, okay, from henceforth, you are going to operate under my name. That is acquisition. Okay. So when we are actually talking about acquisitions or mergers, we have to be really careful whom we are going to acquire or whom we are going to merge with. Second, when appointing as an agent or a supplier, again, we have to check their values. We have to check whether they believe in honesty, integrity, these things. And only if they do, you have to partner with them. And thirdly, when you give loan, please ensure for what purpose you are giving this particular loan to. For example, today I just saw a particular video of a particular saint. I don't remember where exactly that was. And in temple premises, he was actually growing something else. I'll not take the name. So a plant, okay. So it was along with the puja flowers. He was growing something for some other purpose, which you can imagine. Okay, I'll not take the name. So when you give loan, and that too a priest in a temple. The video was there. I don't remember where. I guess South India, maybe. I'm not sure. But you can see some sort of plant. I guess sunflower or something. I don't remember what I saw. Imagine tulsi, sunflower, and in between that there was this particular plant as well. Okay, which is not legal here in India. So when you give loan to someone, please check what they are going to do with this particular money. Are they going to do something that is not legal, or it's going to be something very much? That's ethical. Then, when you recruit employees or directors, you have to also ensure that their personal values match our personal values. And lastly, the individuals who are recruited to work with us, they should also follow, they should also be they should also have due diligence. They should also practice due diligence, because they should feel like, okay, I should give proper attention. I should take proper effort whenever I take a decision, because this is my one decision is actually going to cost my company a lot. So whoever you are going to hire, they should also feel the same way about your company. So this is due diligence. So the first was fairness, second was integrity, and under integrity we learned about conflict of interest, and the third one was due diligence. Due diligence means requisite effort. So that means whenever you are associating yourself with a particular company, you have to be really careful whom you associate with. When you go for a joint venture or you go for acquisition, you have to check whether they have any past history. Next, when you recruit employees in your company, you have to be careful. You have to ensure their values align with your value. And there should be even your team, whoever you are hiring into your company, they should also feel the same way. They should also practice due diligence in their day-to-day lives. When it comes to our office, they should also take every decision with requisite effort. That's about the third value. Now, the last one is fiduciary responsibility. Are you guys with me? All clear?
Yes,
okay. Okay. So the next one is fiduciary responsibility. So fiduciary responsibility means a fiduciary. First of all, you have to understand who's a fiduciary. A fiduciary is a person or an entity to whom assets or authorities. So see here, fiduciary means if Anusha is going to my fiduciary, that means she has to manage my property on my behalf. Okay, but she has to keep in mind she should be operating considering my best interest. She has to take every decision considering my best interest. She shouldn't do anything that is going to harm my interest. If I want to make profit, she have to help me in making profit. She have to stand for me. Okay, she is basically like she's operating on my behalf. Okay, that is a fiduciary. Fiduciary is a person or an entity to whom we are actually going to entrust our assets. So fiduciary will be managing on my behalf for my benefit. I'm the owner of that particular building, or I'm the owner of that particular property, and I am known as principal. Okay, principal or the beneficiary, because it's my property and Anusha is taking care of my property. So she is my fiduciary. So fiduciary means legal guardian. Usually, when especially if that particular person is a minor, usually we do appoint legal guardians when the kid is a minor, right? So we do appoint those people. So when we say someone has a, for example, when I say Sneha has a fiduciary responsibility, that means Sneha is responsible to act for my benefit, for the benefit of the principal or the beneficiary. So Sneha has to take decisions considering my best interest. So the most common example of this fiduciary is a trustee. Okay, so for example, in case if I tell, okay, Santosh, this is my property and you take care of the same, okay, and there is a trust agreement between me and Santosh. This is a very common example of a fiduciary. So fiduciary means if I have to make someone a fiduciary, so he should have really high standards. He should be the way he conduct himself, and at the same time he should be trustworthy as well. And he has to manage the asset as if it belonged to him, as if it belonged to Santosh. So he should have that ownership. He should take decisions feeling that, okay, he has to always consider as if what he is going to do if that particular property belonged to him. He shouldn't do anything against my decision or against my interest. So fiduciary can, in case if you breach that fiduciary duty, that means in case if you prioritize your self interest, okay, then so that's definitely not going to be right. And a breach of fiduciary duty can occur if the fiduciary, if Santosh acts on his self interest or interest of anyone other than the principal, means other than the owner of that particular property, then we can say Santosh has breached the fiduciary responsibility. And to be a fiduciary, not everyone can be a fiduciary. You need to have really good skills. Accountants are actually a fiduciary. You guys, once you qualify CMA, you can be considered a fiduciary as well. So accountants, attorneys, auditors, etc. are fiduciaries. You are considered to behave, consider, you considering the best interest of your stakeholders or whoever is your services that accountants can provide. Sorry, any doubt?
Why not
I can't see you. What happened? Is it visible now?
No,
What happened?
you're not able to hear. Oh my god. Hello, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. You're not able to hear. Actually, one person is correct, ma'am. So the answer is what I answer. I will not able. Stop. You're not able to hear you. Hey, எங்க இருக்குல்ல மேல
Can you hear me?
மேல
Message, message, message.
மேல என்ன இது இன்னும் போடலாம் நீங்க தெரிய மாட்டீங்கன்னு போடலாம்
You hear me now? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god. I will die taking these classes for sure, guys.
ഇതല്ലേ
I will.
Again, same problem. You are looking so beautiful.
Okay, same issue. Nada. One sec. Let me just leave and join again. 1 minute.
Break, go for a break. Which we have like that. If you go from this break, switch. Switch.